I have to accept that everybody is on their own path. I cannot speed up their progress on the spiritual path. I cannot force them on the spiritual path. And everything will happen at the perfect time for them when they are ready. This is not going to happen when I want. It's going to happen when that God's grace is given to them, and when the timing is right for them, and when they are ready to go on this path. And also I have to be accepting of the fact that it may not happen in this lifetime. And that's okay. As we progress on the spiritual path, it is natural that we want our loved ones, like our children, our spouse, our siblings, parents, to also go on this path and do the work, because we see the benefits and we also see how they are struggling, and we know that if they were to practice this spiritual work, they would benefit so much from it. And out of love, we want them to see these benefits and not struggle like they are struggling currently. And I have been in this boat. I have wanted my kids, my husband, my sister, my mom to also do meditation and apply the spiritual practices that I'm applying in my own life, because once you see the benefits, it is just so natural to want that for your loved ones too. It is kind of like when you go to a restaurant, you really like it, you recommend it to all your family and friends because you want them to have the good experience that you had there. However, I have learned that telling others or trying to motivate others to go on the spiritual path does not work. The best thing I can do for my loved ones is to work on myself, not to motivate or push or even like indirectly kind of manipulate them to want to do these practices that I think would be beneficial for them. And I think the reason is that if I'm being really honest, like I am on the spiritual path because of my own internal motivation, not because somebody said you should meditate. I feel like if somebody had said to me you should meditate, I would probably be running in the other direction, away from meditation, because it's almost like reverse psychology. When somebody tells you to do something, and especially when they're your loved ones, you do not want to do that, because we all have our own free will and we want to have control over our decisions and what we do and which books we read. So I feel that internal motivation is what leads most people to go on the spiritual path. And this motivation could come out of a painful experience. Many people, including myself, they enter spirituality through pain. And for me, I wouldn't say it was only pain. It was pain and a combination of curiosity and pain. And I much rather hear from other people, like, for example, books and podcasts, than my own loved ones. It's just the nature of human relationships. We do not want to take advice from our loved ones. I mean, in some cases we do, but I find in my experience that at least in things like meditation or exercise, it is very hard to motivate your loved ones. This motivation has to come from inside. Let me know if you think this is true when you have tried to motivate your loved ones. Did it work just by you telling them, or do you find that it does not work? And I also think that there is an element of grace. I feel like I have been blessed to have been given the grace by God, by universe, whatever name you want to give. I was graced to have that seed in me. I think we all have that seed, but that seed kind of turning into a plant, and that led to my curiosity to explore the spiritual path and it all starts with curiosity. It starts with questions like, who am I? What is the purpose of life? And for me also, it was that I had checked off all the boxes that society tells us we need to check to have a happy life, like get married, get a degree, get a job, have kids. So I did all that, and I was like, no, there's still something missing. And I feel that something missing is where your search for spirituality, search for meaning in life starts. And there is an element of grace to that. When we have that grace of God, that's how that seed of curiosity about finding all the answers to these big questions of life, that's where that comes from. And unless that grace is given to a human, they're not going to be driven to ask these big questions and to explore the path of spirituality. They might just be perfectly fine running on the treadmill of life like everybody does, just eating, sleeping, drinking, working, and doing what like normal people do. And they don't feel the need to go deeper and ask these deep questions. So I feel that it is okay to plant seeds. For example, with my kids, what I do is I will often tell them to take deep breaths, because that's not really pushing them too much. When they're in like physical pain or emotional pain, I keep reminding them to take deep breaths. For example, just before getting a shot, if they're being anxious, I'll just say, take deep breaths. And I feel like that's maybe enough of a planting of a seed for my kids. And the other thing I would do is I would kind of share my own experiences. Like they watch me take deep breaths too. So it's more of, with kids, it's more of teaching by example, by being a good role model. So they see me listening to spiritual talks, reading spiritual books. They see me meditating. They see me struggling. They see me crying. They see me feeling all my feelings instead of pushing them away. So I feel like by doing that, I'm still planting a seed. But if I were to just lecture them that, sit down and meditate or read this book or listen to this talk, that's just not going to work. At least that's my opinion. Let me know if you differ. And I feel that when the timing is right, for whether it's my kids, my husband, and other loved ones, when the timing is right, they will find that grace, they will find that curiosity to go deeper and go down the spiritual path. And like they say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So I have to, as much as I would want everything to happen right now for me and them, I also have to have some patience and have faith in the universe that whatever is happening for my loved ones is exactly right for them. If they're struggling and I can see that there is a solution out of this struggling by going on the spiritual path, but they don't see it, then I have to accept that. I have to surrender to that. I have to accept that everybody is on their own path. I cannot speed up their progress on the spiritual path. I cannot force them on the spiritual path. And everything will happen at the perfect time for them when they are ready. This is not going to happen when I want. It's going to happen when that God's grace is given to them, and when the timing is right for them, and when they are ready to go on this path. And also I have to be accepting of the fact that it may not happen in this lifetime. And that's okay, because it's not my will, it's thy will. So everything happens perfectly according to God's plan, at the right time, at the perfect time. And I can plant seeds by being an example, by doing the work on myself. And perhaps like once in a while I can recommend a book or something. But if I'm too pushy, if I keep on like sending links to podcasts or links to videos that I want my loved ones to watch, even though I know that they would be very magical magical and beautiful and might give them aha moments, but if they are not ready for it, it's not going to happen. So let me know what you think about this. Have you been able to motivate somebody else to go on the spiritual path? If yes, how did you do that? And if not, let me know your struggle with that as well. Take care.